What is going on, my fellow warriors? We are back with yet another Wuchang Fallen Feathers video. And today we are going to talk about some major fixes that we need to see happen within this game. And I know 505 Games is working hard behind the scenes. They're putting out update after update. They are trying to right their wrongs here. But these are some things that I've noticed and some things that I would like to see change to improve the quality of life within the game and just make the overall experience even better than what it is currently. If you're into Wuchang Fallen Feathers, this is what we do here. We do tips, we do tricks, we do guides, we do patch notes, we do everything Wuchang Fallen Feathers. So if that tickles your feather fancy, consider liking and subscribing. Outside of that, let's get into the list. Coming in at number 6, we have not being able to interact while pop-ups are on screen. So whenever you come back from a shrine or come back from the dream, there's a pop-up that comes up on screen. It tells you where you are. It may tell you, hey, you have madness. This is what's going on. But while those things populate the screen, you are locked out of all interaction. So if you're next to a door, if you're next to a lever, if you're next to something that you can interact with, you have to wait for an extended time until that pop-up goes away for you to be able to interact with the thing that you're trying to interact with. Now, this is a small thing. It's a tiny thing, but it's a nuance that really is important, especially when you're grinding a boss and you're trying to get through it and you're running back and forth. Maybe you have to go down a lever, maybe you have to go down some stairs, maybe you have to open a door, and you have to wait until this pop-up goes away. So just being able to interact while the pop-up is there, or just having the time that the pop-up populates on the screen be less, that would be helpful. That would make things a little bit easier, a little bit more fun, and a little less frustrating when you're trying to grind the boss or you're trying to just move on in the game. Like I said, not a huge thing, but something that would definitely make the quality of life much better within the gameplay. And at number 5, we have camera adjustments for the Caterpillar armor set. Now, the Caterpillar armor set, for me personally, is one of my favorites. It does very good slash resistance. It does very good stab resistance. And it's just the coolest looking one, in my opinion. It's one of the coolest looking ones, in my opinion. But there's a problem. Whenever you're not facing a large enemy or enemy that's like more humanoid, the hair of the armor actually blocks the view. So you can't really see. And it's very important, especially when you're looking for the tails of the enemies that you're fighting and you have the hair blocking. You can't really see. You're trying to adjust your camera. It really doesn't allow for much visibility there. And I know some people may say skill issue. I mean, I still use it even though that's a problem, but it's something I would like to see fixed. I don't know what we could do. Maybe turn it downwards, maybe have a camera view that moves around it. I don't know. I can't call it, but it's something that I noticed and something that really was a little bit frustrated with certain bosses that I faced, because there were times where I was like, you know what? I got to choose a different armor because I cannot see this boss while I'm trying to fight them. I want to get through this sooner than later. I don't want to fight this boss 100 times. I want to be able to see the tells and understand what's happening here. So this is another fix that I think is much needed within this game. And coming in at number 4, we have manual saves. Yes, I know some people love the save scum. I love the save scum. I do it from time to time, my friends. But it's very important because a lot of times you may want to make a different choice. You may want to try a different ending. You want to do different things within the game and test things out without having to start all over and start from the beginning. I know that's how games are intended to be played. I know that's the right way to play the game, but you know what? Sometimes you just don't want to do that. Sometimes you just want to test out and do things the way that you want to do them. Everybody has their own preferences and ways of playing, but I do feel like that is a option that should be available, to have multiple saves, to be able to play different playthroughs. Maybe not just to save scum, but also if you want to try different builds, because you may say, hey, in the middle of your long sword playthrough, you might be like, you know what, I want to try dual swords, or I want to try one-handed swords. So this allows a little bit more flexibility without having to start the game all over just to do these things. And coming in at number 3, we have a quest log. I think that this is very important. Even though the game isn't really long, it's not a very long game, but at the same time, just for organizational purposes and just to be able to check those boxes and know that you're doing all the things that are available to you, I think it's very important to have some type of quest log that you can look up to see, hey, oh, I forgot to do this. Oh, I have this quest from this guy that I didn't really complete. I want to complete this before I move on to the next section. I found myself going into other sections and then realized that after the fact, like, oh man, I forgot to go back and do this quest for this guy that he asked me to do. Now I have to start the game over to be able to do that. It'll just make things a little bit more organized for your playthrough, especially for those like myself who want to 100% the game and do every single thing and every single quest and get every single item. Yeah, I think that this is very important and something that we should have within the game. And coming in at number 2, we have a map. I think that a map is very important for this game as well. I don't know what they got going on with the locations. I understand that this game is mostly linear, so it's not really an open world game. So you're not looking at expansive map locations and all different types of vistas and things like that. But at the same time, I think having some type of map to be able to find things like your shrines or find things like the people that you can talk to within the world, because right now the compass ain't it. The compass really isn't it. The compass itself it's cool, and I did get used to it after a while, but the little emblems around it, I haven't found any of those emblems around my compass yet. I know that you can walk in the direction and turn in the direction of it, but as far as those little emblems and those NPCs that I can talk to that are represented on this compass, I haven't found any of them. And I do think that the remedy for this is to be able to have a map, some type of mini map, to be able to go to those locations or even fast travel to those locations if you've been to them already. It's just a quality of life thing. I feel like it'll make things much better. Personally, this is just my personal opinions on it, but I feel like that would be a great addition to this game. And coming in at number 1 is the input lag. There is a slight input lag with the game. I understand that this is a technical thing, and I understand that they may be working on this behind the scenes, and I really haven't encountered this until the last boss of this game, but it's something significant. So what it feels like is when I'm fighting this boss, it feels like I'm moving through syrup or like oil, and this thick oil where I can barely move, and then the boss moves much faster than me. I feel like some of my inputs are on a delay. Like if I complete a perfect dodge, there'll be a 1.5 second delay before the dodge executes, and even though it'll execute and the boss will swing, I'll feel like there was like a freeze that happened before everything happened, and the game just kind of slowed down. Now this is important, especially in games like these where you gotta pay attention. You have to have your timing on point. You have to really be looking at the boss and make sure everything is on point so you can execute whatever you're trying to execute. So this is something that definitely needs to be fixed, and I know that they have update 1.5 coming in a couple days. That's going to address a lot of things like your get up speed, as far as your animations for when you take health. So there's a few things coming, so hopefully this is part of the mix, because this is something important in these types of games, and I do think that it will take the game to a space where it's like, okay, now that this is addressed, we can play this game like a Souls-like game and really enjoy it for what it is, without all the complaints, without all of the problems, and people not being able to experience it as they should. And there you have it. Those are 6 changes that we need in Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about these? Do you have some? Maybe I forgot some. Whatever it is, I'm always down to have conversations with you all. And if you are into Wuchang Fallen Feathers tips, tricks, guides, and patch note videos like these, consider liking and subscribing. Outside of that, be safe out there, because there's danger around every corner in Wuchang Fallen Feathers. Later.